What's up, Table Rock Fishing Intel Pro members? Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Hopefully by now you have checked out the Fish Recon app. It makes using your phone, using your mobile device so much easier than trying to use the mobile version of the website. If you have not done so, go to the App Store, go to Google Play Store, look up Fish Recon, just like it says on my hat. Download that app and log in with your credentials that you have for the website, and you will have full app access. It will not log you out, and you will be amazed at how much easier it is to use than using the mobile website. Check it out. I'm serious, you guys are paying for it, so you might as well get it, and you're never gonna see your price increase, even though we got a big price increase coming up. At the end of next month, you're never gonna have to see a price increase unless you cancel your membership and re-sign up. As far as the fishing is concerned, it is Tuesday, July 23rd. Been on the water pretty much every day, except for when it rained. Bite's been good. Bite's actually been better than I expected for the dog days of summer. Lake level, we are at 916.53, so half foot low. Core's not running water, Core doesn't need to run water. Not changing much unless we get a big rain or it gets really hot again. Water temperature, about the same. I mean, we're low to mid 80s pretty much all over the lake. I did go way up the Kings earlier this week with Nico, or I guess late last week, not really this week, late last week with Nico. We went way up the Kings, and I mean, it got cold up there. We actually found some mid to upper 70 degree water up there where it gets really so skinny you can't really run a bass boat. But we caught a few up there. I'll get into that a little bit later. But the bite's been good. Been catching a few fish. Of course, you guys know, best way, use your Table Rock Fishing Intel Pro membership. Use the app, Fish Recon app. It will help you catch more fish on Table Rock Lake, and the app, I'm telling you, if you use the map on the app, it's gonna make it so much easier for you to find all these reports that the guys are flooding the app with. So definitely check out the app. But if you're gonna come down, you're gonna fish the lower end of the lake. The lower end sucks. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Every guide out there is bitching, I'm bitching. The lower end is the worst part of the lake by far. Average trip anywhere else on the lake, even using live bait, you're looking at 12 to 18 fish in 4 hours. Down by the dam, if you catch 5 fish, you're a freaking hero. So the lower end of the lake has been incredibly tough, at least for the guides. I don't know, maybe somebody's catching them up there in no water whatsoever. But if you're stuck with fishing the lower end of the lake, drop shot rig and spoon are about the only two things, unless you go way up Long Creek. Drop shot rig and spoon are your two deals. Better bites been on trees or either been in trees or on the ends of docks. Today they didn't bite with the dam on the docks or on the ends of the trees or in the trees, just because the suspended fish didn't want to bite. So it's not been as good of a bite as it has been. But the dam area is tough. It's the toughest part of the lake. You can catch a few on a football jig, jewel heavy cover football jig, and you can catch a few if you go up Long Creek, but prepare to be fishing some pretty dirty water as far as Table Rock is concerned, because it got muddy with all that rain we got last week. It's the only arm of the lake that really got muddy. The rest of them are pretty much crystal clear. So, you know, you do have the opportunity for a jig bite. If you got a windy day, you might have the opportunity for a crankbait bite or a buzzbait bite or something like that. But it is definitely a dirty water situation if you go up that way. Go to the mid-lake where I was today. We fished a drop shot. We fished it on the end of a dock. We fished a couple of trees. We caught one here, one there. Decided to go ahead and try the bottom, 20 to 25 foot deep on a main lake, long gravel point, and we just caught the crap out of them. It was great. So if they're not biting out of the trees, if they're not biting off the ends of the docks, go hit a point. Go hit a long main lake gravel point and throw a drop shot with either a shad-shaped cut tail, UV drop shot worm, whatever you like to throw. Throw a scuba spoon down there, bounce it around off of the bottom. You'll get a few fish doing that. And you can throw a football jig too. I did not throw a football jig today, but where these fish are positioned in, 20 to 25 foot of water, a jewel heavy cover football jig or a Carolina rig, either one of those would have worked as well. And then there's a decent brush pile bite in the mid-lake as well. Big worm, 10 to 12 inch Texas rig worm, half-ounce sinker. Look for the brush piles in the mid-lake to be a little bit deeper than you want them up the river. Most of the brush piles that are holding fish are in 15 to 20, even 25 foot deep. but there are some better quality largemouth sitting down in those brush piles. So if you're looking to catch a big fish, that's certainly what I would do. Flutter spoon bite, deep crankbait bite, meh, not really so great. Not running any current, so it's not been nearly as good. And then the dock bite has been really, really hit and miss. It seems like those dock fish, if you can find a dock that's got a couple on it, it's going to have a bunch on it, but you've got to hit a lot of docks to make that happen. Go up in the James. James did not get a lot of water, did not get very muddy, had a little bit of debris, but it was not bad. Watercolor's pretty normal, pretty typical for the James River this time of year. You can catch them deep. From the mouth of the White, or where the White and the James come together, all the way up, gosh, above point 12, you can catch them deep because the water's clear enough. Again, trees 20 to 30 feet deep, over top of whatever, mostly on bluff ends, or on the bottom, 20 to 30 feet deep, just on gravel. Long gravel points with deep water close by. If you want a drop shot, or if you want to drop a scuba spoon. Both of those are working there. Personally, I would rather throw a heavy cover football jig or a Carolina rig and work the bottom over that way, basically keeping the boat in about 30, 35 foot of water, throwing up to 15, maybe 10 early in the day, but 10 to 15, and working that bait back, working it bait slowly along the bottom, trying to find those little subtle differences on those gravel points, whether it's a rock or a piece of log or something like that that's holding those fish, because there's certainly some fish to be caught on those long gravel points up the James. Brush pile bite, 10 foot to 15 foot. Big worm has been dynamite up there. 10-inch, 12-inch worm, Texas rig, half-ounce sinker, and just work it slow through those brush piles. And I can tell you that the last time I was up there fishing brush, not every brush pile has fish in it, but when you find a fish in a brush pile, you're going to find multiple fish in a brush pile. So it's worth making multiple casts when you do catch one out of a brush pile. So keep that in mind as well. Up the White was up the White yesterday. Deep bite was supreme. Lost count of how many fish we caught drop shotting and spooning. Most of them were on a shad shape, a few on a cut tail, but most of them were on the shad shape out of the tops of trees. Yesterday it was trees, today it was the bottom. Today the fish in the trees, suspended fish didn't want to bite. The fish on the bottom did. Today, or yesterday, the fish in the trees wanted to bite. And most of the trees were on points or bluff ends. The fish were 20 to 25 foot deep. Don't really care or recognize how deep the overall depth is. It doesn't matter because I want to concentrate where the fish are, and they were 20 to 25. Some of them as deep as 30, but doing the drop shot rig, doing the jewel scuba spoon, caught a couple off the ends of docks, but it wasn't nearly as good as the trees were. The trees really seem to be where it's at up the White right now. Did not fish the bottom because I did not have to fish the bottom, but I talked to Phil Stone, and he caught a few walleye off the bottom up around Shell Knob, long gravel points, 18 to 25 foot deep, dragging a night crawler around. So there is a walleye bite going on as well if you want to go try to target some walleye. Other bites, you get up the Kings. Like I said, Nico and I went way up the Kings. We pretty much threw a jig and a big worm. We threw a top water a little bit, but I think we had one fish roll on it, and that was it. But we threw a jig and a big worm. We had pretty good, I think we fished for 4 hours. And I mean, didn't have a lot of keepers, but we had a lot of fish. I think we might have had 4 keepers. And just a ton of fish, just fishing the bank. I mean, if you got more than 10 foot off the bank, unless there was a brush pile or a log or something on the bottom, you really wouldn't get bit. These fish, the fish way up the Kings were right up on the bank. So that was a fun thing to do. A little bit change of pace, a little bit different. Other than that, I'm sure you could probably, if we get some current going, if they release some water from Beaver and you're up that way, or if they finally have to pull Table Rock down a little bit, we get some current going, I bet you could probably catch them on the deep crankbait like we were before, and maybe even on the flutter spoon. But until that starts happening, I think you're just wasting your time. You might get one here, one there, but you're not going to catch them like we were catching them, what, a month ago or 6 weeks ago when they were running current almost constantly. Guys, we're almost, well, I guess 2/3 of the way done with July. Boat traffic has not been horrible. The weekends suck. And you can set your watch by when they start letting out rental pontoon boats at each marina. But other than that, the boat traffic's not been bad, especially first thing in the morning. It's just fishermen out there, and as long as you don't have a jackass cut you off, it's actually been pretty good. Fishing's been good. Actually, I think it's better than it has been the last couple of years this time of year. The last few trips I've had have actually been pretty darn good as far as Table Rock's concerned. Of course, I'm down by the dam tomorrow, so I'll have a completely different attitude after that. But fishing's been good. Everything's been good. You guys know your Table Rock Fishing Intel Pro members. Please download the app. Just download it. Try it. If you don't like it, delete it. It ain't no big deal. But the app makes your life so much easier as an Intel Pro member. It really and truly does. Makes it easier for you to find everything. Once you download the app, you'll probably never go back to the website again. But anyway, if you're coming down and you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com. Book online, shoot me an email. Either way, I get back to you as soon as I can. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks again for being Table Rock Fishing Intel Pro members. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.